Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Luke David Blumm about The Watcher, which is streaming now worldwide on Netflix. Welcome back to the show, man. It's so good to see you again.
Thank you. It's so good to see you again, too.
You're a 3-time guest now. It's pretty crazy.
No, that's crazy. The first interview was insane. There was a baby in the background.
Behind the scenes, yeah, there was like a stoppage because there might have been a crying baby somewhere. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. It was for Sun because you have your posters behind you. It was actually for Sun, which was amazing.
Sun poster right here.
Yeah, and then, you know, you had where Crawdad saying there was so much amazing things happening.
Yeah, Crawdad saying you can't really see it, but there's a poster right there.
And absolutely. And, you know, The Watcher kind of drops on Netflix. People are going crazy. People love Ryan Murphy. People love the stuff. I mean, it's cool because you work on Sun, which is like horror specifically. You worked on like dramas and comedies and everything, King of Staten Island. I mean, this is kind of thriller, kind of similar vibes a little bit to Sun, a little bit like more spooky, scary stuff. What's it like kind of continuing working in the thriller genre?
It's really cool. This is definitely very different from Sun because Sun was like a pure like horror movie. This is like a thriller, like a whodunit thriller.
Yeah.
But like you just said a second ago, I do want to do like a lot of stuff. I have 3 movies coming out soon. Well, I don't actually know when they're coming out, but I have 3 movies coming out that are all dramas, and I did some comedies, and I did some horror, and then I did this. I just want to like mix it up.
Yeah, makes you well-rounded too, right?
Yeah.
Which is a lot, and it's a lot of fun kind of diving into all of those worlds. Like, is that one of the best things about doing what you do, like as a storyteller, basically diving? They're all complete. You mentioned all these projects you mentioned are like completely different too.
Oh yeah, that is definitely the whole reason that I wanted to be an actor, which was like feels like such a long time ago. I was 8.
Yeah,
that's a long time ago, but I just wanted to play make-believe, and
yeah.
No, I did, and that's great.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, you got to work with some amazing people on this show. I mean, there's not much more you have to say about that. I mean, your screen parents were Bobby Cannavale and Naomi Watts. What was that like? What was it like working with them? What were some kind of things that you kind of learned? Any advice they gave you? Talk to me about that experience.
They were so nice. Actually, everyone on set was just like the nicest person that I've ever met.
Mm-hmm.
And Bobby and Naomi were really nice. Bobby and I would always talk about acting. He would talk about his favorite actor all the time. His favorite actor is Al Pacino. He would always talk about him. And I would always talk about my favorite actor, Anthony Hopkins. And actually, this is posted, and there's an Elephant Man poster. That's my favorite movie.
That's awesome. No, that's really, really cool. Yeah, no.
Yeah, we got together. We got along really well.
Yeah. Which is important too. And the thing is, did it feel like, how long was the shoot specifically for this, like for your stuff?
It was 6 months, which was a long time.
Were you working like, so we talked last time about your movie on Prime Video, right? Your comedy on Prime Video.
Yeah. I Want You Back.
I Want You Back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you like working on, because it's funny, we know how it is, right? Like you can't say anything and you're working on things, and like it was probably around that time, right? Like,
yeah, it was like right in the middle when it was like when I was getting settled in to it, and it was just like right in the middle where I was in New York filming the show.
Yeah. But you're getting used to it though now, right? Like it's part of it, right? Like you work on something, then another thing you worked on comes out, right? Like it's like part of the game, right? Basically.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting used to like traveling around a lot too. I've gone on so many flights over the last like 2 years, but I'm like so many. But I am getting used to like traveling around and doing all that stuff.
It is amazing. Now, I also find it interesting too because, there's a lot of scenes specifically with your character that I want to talk about specifically. There is, in my opinion, I mean, it's not like spoiler alert for anyone who's seen it. Like, it's not really spoiling the plot, but like, there's a jump scare involving Jasper. And like, that was a scene that was just like you had to scream very loud for that. What was that scene like specifically?
So there were a few days. There was 2 days where there were like the screaming days of the show where where like I would on that day it was like all the scenes I had were like scenes where I had to scream because there were a few scenes like that. There was this one that got cut out. There were like a few, like there were a lot of screaming scenes.
Yeah.
There were the 2 screaming days, and at the end, my throat was very sore
Yeah.
from screaming.
Well, there's a lot that happened for your character that made you scream, which was pretty crazy. Everyone, you talked about it online a little bit too. Your character has a pet ferret in it. What was that like with the ferret and those scenes specifically?
He is the cutest. Sprinkles, or Eddie, is the ferret's real name.
Eddie.
He is the cutest ferret, or just the cutest animal in the world. He's so cute. And ferrets are like very mouthy creatures. So anytime that I was in a scene carrying him, he would like nibble on my hand.
Yeah.
So I would always have to, I don't know if you can notice it in the show. When I was watching it, there was this one shot that I was like, that's the shot where there's some food on my finger and he's licking the food. So anytime I was carrying him, I just have some food on my finger.
Was there like an animal expert around too, like telling you certain things? Like, yeah, they had that, right?
Yeah, they had like the people that owned the ferret.
Yeah.
Had like 6 other ferrets and like 2 dogs, and then this other animal that I've never heard of until meeting them.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it's called. It's like a sugar thing. It's a weird flying squirrel looking thing that says, a sugar glider.
A sugar glider. Yeah, okay.
It had like 3 sugar gliders, which is really weird because I've never heard of that.
No, for sure. What was it like shooting the scenes that were like in the house? I mean, it's funny because a lot of it's sets. That was actually like a house you shot in, right?
Well, kind of.
Yeah, but not really.
Outside...
Exactly. I feel like people don't realize like a lot of it wasn't a house that you were in.
Yeah, it's like this was the craziest thing that I've ever seen on a movie or TV show that I've done.
Yeah.
They built, so like the first few weeks of shooting, they didn't have the set built in the stage that we had. It's like a stage in New York that Netflix just bought.
Yeah.
And so we would film all the scenes in the real house. But then once we moved to like the scenes that were all inside, like the first time that I walked in, it was like this huge pitch black room.
Wow.
And then there was like the house that it was like an exact replica of the actual house. And it was insanely impressive. I don't know how they built that in such short time.
Yeah, absolutely. Bonus,
you have to be there.
Bonus round here, not about the Watcher. I just realized we didn't talk, like when we talked about I Want You Back, we didn't get a chance to talk about where the crawdads sing. So I just wanted to ask a quick bonus round question about that. What was one of the coolest things in terms of shooting that movie specifically that you remember?
It was definitely me driving a boat. I actually learned how to like drive a boat, and that was super cool.
Yeah.
Because I always loved going on boats. I would always go and visit my great grandpa, and we would go out and fish, and I always loved that, but I couldn't drive a boat. But then I learned how to drive a boat, and I can, and it's really fun.
That's awesome. That's a really cool takeaway. And it is spooky season, Luke. So, people are watching a lot of horror movies right now. It's cool to think that one of them that they might put on is Son, right? Like, it's pretty cool to think about that, right?
Yeah, my parents just watched that like like a few days ago.
Yeah.
It's now on our like movie list, and that's I mean, I'm in it, so that's probably why it's on the movie list. But I think they were Dad, you would probably put it on your movie list even if I wasn't in it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Matt, I would too. I'd put it on the movie list as well.
We always watch horror movies like in every Halloween. We have like a whole list, and it's definitely on the list.
Every
So
Halloween and Christmas, there's a list.
I do one a night in October, and sometimes I get pretty crazy, and I do 2 in one night. So like I do one that like it's crazy because like there's so many of them, and Son is on the list I recommend to people, and everyone I've recommend say that you are very evil in the movie, and I guess the answer to that you would say thank you, right? Because that was the point. I would say
thank you. That's so nice. Aw.
Absolutely. So many people are loving The Watcher. So many people are watching it all around the world. What's the reception been like on your end? On social media, it's been pretty crazy too, right?
It has been. My dad and I both do like the social media stuff.
Oh yeah.
So like we both look at like all the things, and like it's insane. There like that first day after it came out, I got like 300 more followers on Instagram.
Crazy.
And since then I've gotten like a big spike in auditions. I actually have one to film right after this interview.
Okay,
and then I have another one to film on Monday.
I gotta let you go. I'm getting in the way.
No, not at all.
No. Yeah, no, it's awesome though, man. Seriously, that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm surprised that it's done so well because when I was at the premiere of The Watcher, like the CEO of Netflix was talking about how great like Dahmer was.
Yes.
And saying that how impressive it was that it was on the #1 spot for like 3 weeks. I was like, wow. And then they said that this is like the only show that they think could pass that. And I was like, well, you were just talking about how impressive Dahmer is. I don't know about that. But it's #1 now. It's above Dahmer.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because I didn't think that could happen.
Pretty big month for Ryan Murphy.
Very big.
Absolutely. Luke, thank you so much. It was so great chatting with you and catching up, man. Thank you for coming back on Popternative.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
The Watcher is streaming now worldwide on Netflix. Your Instagram is it Luke David Blumm Official, I believe?
Yeah, Luke David Blumm Official.
They can check you out there. Awesome. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Until next time, it's Luke David Blumm, who you can catch currently in The Watcher, streaming worldwide now on Netflix. And Peter Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.